Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and if you just recently purchased a Toyota Corolla Cross, or maybe you're trying one out for a little while, or maybe you're just curious, this video is going to help you learn how to use your 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system and not the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster here in front of us, because we have the nice, simple, straightforward 2 analog gauge setup here in the SE hybrid model. Now, if you do want to see more on the Toyota Corolla Cross, check the link below. We've got a full review of this SE Nightshade hybrid version. We've driven the normal gasoline version as well. I've got sound system reviews, highway fuel economy tests, all sorts of coverage on the Corolla Cross. I do like this car quite a bit, so check the link below if you'd like to see those. Now, first things first, I highly recommend you spend time either watching this video or playing around in the car yourself statically in your driveway, or ideally both. Learn your car, get comfortable and familiar with it, because you will enjoy using it more. First things first, let's start off with some of the buttons here in front of us. On the steering wheel, we have a nice symmetrical layout. We've got a toggle for this screen in front of us here on the left. You can go up, down, left, right, OK, back, and then a little phone button to answer phone calls or access our phone screen. We've got volume down here on the left, a button for voice controls. Now, if you press this once, you'll get Toyota's built-in voice control feature, but if you press and hold it and you have a phone paired up with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, then you'll get your phone's voice assistant, whether that's Siri or Google Assistant, or probably even Bixby if you're using a Samsung phone. On the right side, we have cruise controls. Right on there, we've got our lane keeping and switching between adaptive cruise control and standard or following distance. Down here, this mode button is going to change the audio mode between different radio, like FM and AM and Sirius XM, or your USB or Bluetooth. And finally, we have track selection buttons on the bottom right. Way down here over on the far left, you're probably barely going to be able to see it, but we've got a gauge illumination physical control. I like that we still have that. There aren't a lot of cars that still have physical adjustments for your gauge illumination. We have a control for the auto high beams on and off, and then a traction control disable button right there. On the steering wheel, we have traditional stocks with our, let's see, light controls over there and turn signals, and then windshield wiper controls on the right. And we actually have paddle shifters on this hybrid version, which is a little silly to me considering it's just an electronically controlled CVT, but you have them. Making our way into this gauge cluster, like I said, the XLE and XSE models are going to have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, but I, in a lot of ways, prefer this setup. There's only one thing I don't much care for it, and I'll share that when it comes up. But you can see on the left, you have a traditional tachometer. Well, interesting that even though this is a hybrid, they didn't give us any sort of power flow meter. That's the thing that disappoints me, is that I'd like to see when I'm slowing down and using regen with the brake pedal, I'd like to see how much regen I'm using. And then as I'm accelerating, I'd like to see how much I could press the accelerator pedal before I kick into gasoline. But we've just got a traditional tach, that's fine there. We've got engine coolant temp below there. We have a traditional ability to cycle through our trip meters and reset the trip meters right there and get back to our odometer. Then on the right side, you've got a traditional analog speedometer with kilometers per hour there in the middle and a fuel gauge down on the bottom. In the center, we've got this small, simple multifunction display. On the top, you're getting cruise control information. And moving down, we've got a clock. We've got outside temperature. Right now, in the screen we're in, we're seeing digital speed, distance to empty. On the bottom, we have our gear and then the odo or trip meter, depending on what we have selected. Using this multifunction button on the left side, I can go up and down within individual menus here. This first menu gives us our speed, gives us fuel economy, an eco score. And actually, this is the ability right here. This is what I was looking for earlier, the ability to see how much we're charging or using accelerator. Maybe I'll try driving around in that screen. And the EV driving ratio, how much time over our drive have we been spent driving an EV? This is surprising to me, maybe because I've been sitting and idling so much shooting these videos. Then using right and left, we can move to different screens. This is a cruise control and driver assistance screen. We also get some navigation information, a compass right there. If we go right again, we get an audio screen. If I were playing audio, then you'd see right there our FM station that we're listening to. Hitting right again, we get some vehicle information. This is your energy monitor. It's going to show you where power is flowing. If I were to fire the motor up right here. Oh, for some reason it's not working. Well, if we were driving, here I can throw it in gear. Then you can see power is flowing right there. Going down again, we get live tire pressure monitoring, nice to have, and then an all-wheel drive screen showing us how much power is being sent to each axle. Making our way to the right again, we have a bit of a settings screen. Here you can turn on or off your various driver aids, lane departure assist, blind spot monitoring, pre-collision. Let's see, this would be pre-collision. I always get the Toyota acronyms lost on me. Support, probably. Parking detection assistant, rear cross traffic alert. That's probably keeping you from opening your door when a car is coming, and reading stop signs. And then you can dig into some vehicle settings here. If we press and hold that, then we see the driver brake suggestion. You might find as you're driving your Corolla Cross for a while, it might pop up and tell you, hey, we recommend you taking a break. If you don't want to see that anymore, you can turn that off there. Dynamic responsive cruise control. Here you can customize your cruise control for how aggressively it's going to accelerate coming away from traffic. A guide message and a curve speed reduction. I like being able to turn that down. I don't care for curve speed reduction at all. Tire pressure warning system settings, scheduled maintenance, oil maintenance, and the rear seat reminder. This is going to let you know if perhaps you left something in the back, like a child or a thing. Coming back using the back button, we have some gauge cluster settings. You can change the language, you can change the units, you can change the little EV indicator on or off, and you can change the Ecos kind of display on or off. You can adjust that there. Some more settings. This is for display contents. All right, you can adjust some things being turned on or off in those screens we saw earlier. Drive info type, whether you want to see drive information for just that trip or the total of the vehicle's lifetime. Same for the drive info. And you can actually turn this display off. That's interesting. Pop-up display. Do you want to be popped up and notified for various things? You can turn those on or off. And if you screw things up royally, you can set everything to their default settings. Lastly, way over on the right, we have a notification screen. Right now, this vehicle does require maintenance, so it's telling us that. Making our way to the center touchscreen. Like I said, it's a very simple layout, just an 8-inch screen and a volume knob. Making our way down here, we do still have physical climate controls. I very much appreciate that. And a bunch of blank switches down here, just one USB-C port. This is essentially your home screen, but you can see this model does not have navigation on it. If I were to pay monthly, then I could get the Drive Connect navigation built in. If you do want to see how that works, maybe you have an up model Corolla Cross or you're paying for it, take a look on our channel. We've got coverage of very similar Toyota infotainment systems like this, and you can see how the navigation works. But this one simply doesn't have it. But you can see kind of faintly on this screen, if I switch to a different screen, you'll see it more clearly, a persistent menu on the top giving you your time, some information about your device and cell signal. And then down along the left side of the screen, you're going to get this persistent menu for getting quick navigation to your nav, your media, your phone, vehicle, and settings. And then right here, you're going to always see this button for getting your voice assistant up, and this button for changing your sources. I think that stays there, right? Nope, just when you're on the media screen. Okay, so let's enable the audio and take a look at how your radio screen is going to look. You can see you've got some favorites. You can directly tune to a station. Let's get to our NPR 89, what are we, 89.3? It's been a while since I've listened to NPR. And then say, for example, if I wanted to favorite this, I could press right there, press that heart, and then if I go back to this favorite screen, you're going to see it popping up right there. But say I want the pulse to be a higher priority favorite, I can press and hold that. Oh, I can't actually. How do you reorganize your favorites? Maybe you got to unadd it and then re-add it. Then it's going to be at the top of your favorites right there. I'm surprised you can't press and hold and adjust those. Making our way down the left, you get the phone screen. Now, my device is not connected at this moment, so let's hit connect. Pixel 8 Pro, let's use it for phone. Now, this is going to be how it looks if you're not using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If you simply want to be connected via Bluetooth for media and phone, then you can see on this phone screen. Right here would show you your favorite contacts. I'm not going to click that because it'll show the phone numbers of my favorite. But under contacts, let me scroll to someone that doesn't matter. Let's see. 411. There you go. You can see you got the contacts right here, and then as you scroll through, you can hit and you see their phone numbers come up right there. Then if we come back, you can bring up the keypad, dial in a phone number if you wanted to, and even see your recent text messages. Making our way down, we have the vehicle screen. This is showing you some fuel economy currently for the last 15 minutes. And then right here, history since it's been cleared or updated. And you can go back and see the energy flow. Again, similar to what we saw in the center multifunction display, but shows me how full the battery is and where power is being sent. Coming back under vehicle alert, that's showing us those notifications as well, telling me that I need some maintenance. And then making our way into settings. Now right here you have your profile screen. In the Corolla Cross, you're not going to get quite as much customization with Toyota Lexus profiles, but if you have other drivers in this car or you have other newer Toyota or Lexus products, you can create a profile, and then from vehicle to vehicle and driver to driver, you can save media presets, climate presets, seating presets. It's trying to make it easier for you to share this car with somebody else in your household or move between different Toyota and Lexus vehicles. It's very nice to have. You can pair it up with your phone connection or your key, or simply select the profile. Under personal info, you can see which devices are connected, link up keys and sync them to the profile, and change the name of the vehicle. Bluetooth and devices, we'll see that a little bit more later when we pair up our iPhone. Under the general screen, this is very important under accessibility, the ability to turn on or off the screen beep. So if you're hearing this every time you click on your screen, it's driving you crazy, you can turn that off. You can also adjust the sensitivity. Maybe you like to touch very lightly on your screen, or maybe you wear driving gloves because you're classy. You might want to up the screen sensitivity there. Date and time, you can choose some customizations for your clock, 24-hour times, change it manually. Under language or units, you have English, Spanish, and French to choose from. And that's also where you're going to find your measurements. If you turn off automatic, then you can change between different units of measurement for your fuel economy. But under automatic, it's going to find where you are based on GPS and set accordingly. Down under notifications, not too much important there. Wi-Fi, two sections in here. The Wi-Fi hotspot, if you pay monthly, you can provide a wireless connection for devices in your car, such as children's tablets or work computers. You can choose that right there. And then below that, this is Wi-Fi for connecting to your home or business Wi-Fi network in order to receive software updates. Under display, you have the ability to turn the display brightness up. I always forget to start with that brighter for these tests, so I apologize there. You can also adjust the contrast of the screen. Probably right in the middle is usually going to be best. And you can also choose a dark theme if you'd like. Now this is going to automatically turn on or off at nighttime if you have automatic on, but if you prefer the easier on your eyes, darker screen, you can choose that there. You can also choose some manual adjustment for the backup camera settings. Sound and media, this is how you're going to be able to change how loud your phone ringtone and message volumes are, as well as the system's voice volumes. And then you can change your treble, mid-range, and bass, and front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. A few other subtle radio settings, such as turning HD radio on and off. Under voice and search, this is where you can turn on or off the wake word. I have it off right now, but we'll show you here in a minute. If you say, "Hey Toyota" with it on, then it'll trigger the voice commands. Dealer info, this will show you where you bought your Toyota from, if it were set up properly from the dealer, and then you can quickly contact them. Info and security, this is where you're actually going to change the vehicle name. You can also turn a privacy lock on if you don't want people to be able to access your private information. Under software update, if you were connected to Wi-Fi and had a software update to install, you'd find that there. And that is about it for useful settings, especially when you don't have navigation on the car. It is quite straightforward. Also, without navigation, there isn't going to be too much that we can do with the voice commands, but let's demo them now. Like I said, we have that wake word. We can also wake it up with the button here or the button there. Hey Toyota. Hey Toyota. Set the climate to 62 degrees.
Setting the driver's temperature to 62 degrees.
Okay, so you can do that. That's good. What's the weather like tomorrow?
Sorry, you have to be subscribed to Connected Services to use weather feature. To learn more about what you can ask me, please say help.
Okay, so without paying monthly, you're not getting those more advanced features. Help.
Here are some commands you can try.
Alright, we got phone commands, we have radio commands, and climate commands. Pretty straightforward there. Okay, let's show you Android Auto. If I go to Bluetooth and devices, I should be able to bring it up here by clicking Use for Android Auto. I did end up having to plug in my device. I think it's because my GoPro is conflicting with it with the Bluetooth. But wired in, we see Android Auto coming up very nicely. Got the newer setup for Android Auto where your apps are along the bottom. You have sort of this 2/3, 1/3 split screen setup. Click here, we got our maps full screen. You can see we move it around. Nice responsiveness there. Not the largest screen, so you're gonna have to look a little closer than some of the other devices, but it works really, really well. We can come back home and bring up YouTube Music. Hit the Super Mix. What are we getting today? Some Nickelback. All right. We can pause that, and if we come home and we choose Maps, then you can see you got your media controls nicely down there. And let's see what our app screen looks like. Looks like about a 4:3. Very nice. To get home back to the Toyota screen, you have to bring up your apps and then click Toyota, and then you are back in the normal Toyota screen. Now let's show you how to pair up an iPhone. I'm going to start by going down here to the gear icon and then clicking Bluetooth and devices. Under Manage Devices, I'm going to hit Add Another Device, and this car is full of devices, so I'm going to have to delete something. Let's delete the Mexican Jose, and Cornflakes, and Jade. Okay, now we're going to add another device. Take our iPhone, bring it open, and go to the settings screen under Bluetooth. Now that that's open, I see at the bottom Toyota Corolla Cross. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to accept and pair anything that pops up on my screens. Allow favorites and contacts, yes. Use CarPlay. Enable CarPlay. Alright, I don't know what the deal is with this car because wireless CarPlay and Android Auto were working just fine before. For some reason, with both my Android and my iPhone, no wireless connection working. So, we are going to pull out our handy dandy iPhone cable, which admittedly is sometimes the easiest way to handle this situation. And because the Corolla Cross only has a USB-C port for data, if you have an older style USB-A connector, you might want to carry an adapter with you or get a new cable. Bada bing, bada boom. Just like that, comes right up. We're seeing that lower resolution for Apple CarPlay, but nice split screen setup here. Big chunky icons, very easy to press. Let's bring up Google Maps. Move around. No pinch to zoom for some reason on the iPhones, but you can zoom in like that. Bring up YouTube Music. Hit the Super Mix, see what we're getting today. Some America. Sister Golden Hair. Very nice. Alright, so if we come home, then you can see you've got your media playing on the right, maps on the left, and a little bit of a quick toggle up on the top right. This is what your app screen's going to look like and slide through. Got a 4:2 layout. Like I said, that resolution being a little different. If we press that, then we get the little Toyota quick toggle coming back up on the left. So that can make it easy to go back and forth, say, between your radio. Play something there. Maybe we want Sirius XM playing over here. And then we get quickly back to Apple CarPlay, like so. There it is! Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all the things you should need to know for the Corolla Cross's 8-inch touchscreen system. Is there something I missed? Let me know in the comments. I'll try to get back to you on it. And if you want to see more on the car, check the link below. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.